Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. You know that we are currently in Budapest. Today is our day 3. We are exploring all the attractions around or inside the Budapest. So today we are going to explore Labyrinth, or this is a building present in Budapest between Buda Castle and Matthias Church. And in this building, the story is or was is that legend Dracula actually prisoned here. So this is a narrow stairway is going steeply down into the inside of an old house, very old house, in old house in the Castle Hill in Budapest. The thick smell of mold in the air presses against our face when I carefully going down through the steep stairways and accent the wooden and the cracking stairs. Like the stairs are made of wood, and this is like creaking stairs and basically making some sound. Walls around us are so old that they would have 100 stories to tell about what has happened inside the stone halls during the centuries. It has served as a shelter and hospital during the World War II, and during the Turkish era, it was used mainly for military purposes, but some part of it also as a harem. So you can imagine like lot of stories behind these walls. Like it used as a hospital, it used as a military, military purpose. Some like maybe guns and some military weapons are stored here, and also it used as a harem as well, like from for the Turkish king and Turkish Turkish people. We are actually going under the ground of the Castle Hill to this labyrinth with colorful and dark history, which is the 15th century held its most famous prisoner Vlad Tepes, or better known as Vlad the Impaler or the Dracula king. The labyrinth is a part of complex series of caves and cellars underground the Castle Hill, and is about 6 mile long in total. 6 mile long in total. Like you can imagine how much what is the coverage area, or what is the how much distance it covers, like 6 miles. And it actually and the part which we can visit today is only a 1 mile long, and other part they closed it. I don't know like why, but they closed it, but only 1 mile is open for the visitor. The entrance to the Labyrintus or Labyrintus, sorry for my pronunciation, was a bit hard to find, and it eventually was a little doorway behind one corner on the Castle Hill. So while you are walking from Matthias Church to the Buda Castle or vice versa, you can see in a very old house, inside a very old house, and very narrow door is there, and it is normal hoarding is present there, that is called Labirintus or labyrinth, and you have to go inside that. So let's talk about what is inside the Labyrinth of Dracula. So when we are managed to mentally get past the play created by the human-sized puppet scenes built around the place, the general atmosphere was quite intense. The corridors were narrow, the sound of the water dripping from the ceilings was everywhere, and the mental pressure created by the sheer nature of the labyrinth cast an intrigued feeling. I would have left puppet scenes out. The labyrinth was very sparsely illuminated, and the signs showing the right way were few. The labyrinth has a ghostly atmosphere, and the thought, what if I get lost, did occur to me a few time, or to occur to us a few times. If you are visiting with children, the place may be a bit scary, but in a good way. However, I would have just loved the place as a kid as well. The air was thin and pressing, and the little lights cast dubious shadows around the corners. I or we, me and my wife, we caught myself looking in the dark corners a bit more carefully, as I try to tune myself to see beyond the shadows in my ghost hunting quest. But we had no luck, unfortunately. There were also short stretches of corridors totally dark, so I grabbed my cell phone or our cell phone to cast some light on my path. But I would recommend it not to do that, because you will get a different experience walking through a dark cave and a narrow path. However, if you don't have any light, take a walking in the total darkness as an adventure, but step carefully. There is a rope tied to the wall. You can hold that rope and you can find the path, but I would recommend to walk in complete dark, so it will be a very fantastic experience for you. Okay, let's talk about the dark legends of the Labyrinth of Dracula. So there are several legends or stories about this labyrinth, but maybe the most interesting one is the one including Vlad Tepes. He was betrayed by the Hungarian king Matthias, who was supposed to be Vlad's ally in his task to protect the Christian Europe from the Ottomans. But King Matthias was conspiring with Turks and abducted and imprisoned Vlad Tepes in the depths of the castle hill. It's uncertain how many years Vlad was captured in here, varying from a few years to more than 10. Also uncertain is whether Vlad was tortured here or not, but after his release he eventually became the impaling and torturing monster of which history reckons him. Another story tells that Vlad Tepes died here and that his body is buried in the Buda labyrinth, but his head elsewhere. So who knows, maybe under the stone placard where the carving says Dracula actually rests Vlad the Impaler and guarded by the little guards there. There are at least 5 different stories about Vlad the Impaler death. However, the actual location of his grave is still unknown. The site said to be his final resting place on an island monastery of Snago, just outside of Bucharest. Houses no human body, only bones of horses. So the restricted. Let's talk about the restricted, mysterious section of the Buda labyrinth. There are also sections in the labyrinth that are restricted nowadays, like a wild shrine in one cave and a vine-covered fountain that flows with wine in another. Why the wine flows endlessly in this fountain of Matthias, and why it even exists is a mystery. And even deeper in the labyrinth, there are also humanoid statues. The most famous one of them is known as the Shaman of Two Faces. Are these artifacts extremely strange of who or what? So these are the stories. Thank you for watching our video.